you're having a great day and I hope you had a great weekend. Today we're going to talk about healing and recovery, how every one of us, no matter what we may be suffering from, maybe we don't have a disease right now, but we're struggling with fat loss. Some of us may be struggling with needing to put on weight. Some of us may have diabetes, cancer, acne, an autoimmune condition. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. While you take your medications that you're supposed to, you listen to your doctor's advice. What are you doing beyond that? How are you using the power of your mind, which is non-debatable when it comes to healing and recovery? The science is already there. It's always been there on how the human mind plays a huge role and is a powerful drug when it comes to healing, recovery. Words like hope, words like belief, words like faith plays a role, not just when you have a terminal disease, not when you just have cancer, not when you're recovering from a tragic accident, but also for normal conditions that we struggle with on a day-to-day basis. We're going to get into understanding the intelligence and the power of the human mind. We've done tons of videos on this before, but each time we start to see the healing and recovery of our patients is beyond the medicine they take. It's beyond the nutrition, beyond the exercise. You know, it all comes down to the power of the human mind. Today we're going to try to understand it. One video like this isn't enough to cover what we want to cover. But we'll start off with little things that we can start to reflect on and do every single day. You see, example, people are struggling to lose weight and it remains a struggle despite the diet, despite the exercise. Why? Their thinking is wrong. And so is it with the recovery from diseases. Let's move straight into the human mind and understand a couple of things. The brain, the power of the brain. The brain is building patterns all the time. So when you start to watch a movie, what is that suspense you feel? The start of the movie is a particular pattern in your mind, and that pattern continues to, grow more and more with what you consume, and that's how your suspense built up. That's the same thing with a song. You pick up a rhythm, you hear lyrics, and your brain's making patterns from what you hear. Now, we're constantly making patterns. We could be making patterns based on what we've heard about cancer, what we've heard about diabetes, what we've heard about weight loss, and these patterns in our head are fixed. Sometimes these patterns have to change for us to see things differently and to behave differently. If I have a stuck pattern, I will continue to behave out of that pattern. Now, some of those behaviors may need to change if I want different results or if I want better results. Let's go back to the simple example of brushing your teeth every morning. It's a pattern. How was that pattern built? With constant repetition and concentration. Concentration on the fact that when you wake up, you need to brush your teeth. The action of brushing your teeth was repetition. Today, that's a pattern in your mind that you cannot break. Now, when it comes to people, with anything that you're struggling in life with, disease, a relationship, whatever, it comes down to patterns. Now listen to me very, very clearly. When you read the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and people who have dedicated a life towards understanding the human mind and proving the model and the worth of the subconscious mind, there is a lot to learn, but there are fundamentals. When you understand the fundamentals, everything starts to change. Forget about complication right now. Understand the fundamentals. Okay, let's break straight down into those patterns. Now, if I'm trying to create a new pattern, let's say I'm learning something today about the human mind, okay? I'm creating a pattern in your brain while I speak. Now, if you want to strengthen this pattern, you're going to have to remember it. If you want to remember it, you're going to have to think about it. So maybe you're thinking right now, maybe you think about what I said 3 hours later, and maybe again you reflect on it before you sleep. So the more you think about what I say, the pattern is going to get stronger and stronger. So when you're doing your reflection tonight, you're going to reflect that, hey, Luke said this. Yeah, it's making sense. Yeah, you're going to think about it. You're going to make the pattern stronger. So it goes back to school. Anything that you want to remember first starts with understanding and then repetition. How did you learn your multiplication tables? Repetition. 2 into 2 is 4, 4 twos are 8, 8 twos are 16. Repetition, 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 repetition. It is in your subconscious mind. It is in these brain patterns. So now this works two ways. If I'm building a pattern of good stuff, it's going to serve me with the way I behave. If I'm also building a pattern of negative stuff, and I keep remembering the negative stuff and thinking about the negative stuff and reflecting on the negative stuff, guess which pattern is going to grow stronger? And whichever pattern you build, you start to behave out of that pattern. So that's why people can also sometimes get locked up or confused with a truth and a lie. If I keep telling myself a lie, but I believe it's a truth, my lie will eventually become the truth in my mind. And that's why a lot of criminals, when they're interviewed, they don't believe they've done anything wrong because they fed the pattern of their brain and justified every action as being right. After a while, the mind believes it and you start to act and behave out of that. Let's come back to disease or fat loss or relationships or anything else. It is very important that when we're starting any plan towards recovery or even a goal, whether it's running a marathon, whether it's starting a new exercise, okay, there are two things we need to do. One is new and one is different. If I want to override an existing pattern that isn't serving me anymore, I got to build a new one and a different one. How do I start with this process based on the fundamental teachings of experts around the world? Here are the fundamentals. First, I have to align my behavior with my intention. Let me break this down into a simple example. I want to start doing yoga every morning. My intention is to do yoga. Why? Because it's great for flexibility, it's great for my mental health, it's great for my body and my blood circulation, and it calms me down. That's my intention. Yours may be different. I'm using me as an example right now. So I'm aligning my intention with my behavior. Now, because I have an intention to wake up and do yoga, my behavior will be to get onto the mat and do my yoga in the morning. I create a pattern. Now, my actions have to align with my thoughts. So first, it is aligning your intention with your behavior. Just having an intention without an action, which is your behavior, is useless. You've got diagnosed with cancer right now. You have the intention to want to live, but it's not aligned with your behaviors. Do you think it'll work? No. You want to get into a relationship. You have an intention to be loved, but is your behavior and your actions aligning with your intention? It won't work. So intentions align with behavior. Now my actions have to align with my thoughts. So if I wake up in the morning and I think that, I'm lazy today, I'm not going to do it, that thought is not going to allow me to get into action. So if I wake up, and even if I feel lazy, I say, hey, listen, I'll get on the mat. Let's see how far I get. Maybe I won't do 20 minutes, but I'll do 10 minutes. Now my thoughts align with action. I get onto the mat, creating a new pattern. Okay? Now, when I align my actions with my thoughts, my behavior with my intention, I connect my mind with my body. Otherwise, everything's just going on in the mind. When I make a mind-body connection, the pattern in the brain is going to get solid. I do day 1. Now I do day 2, the pattern's stronger. I do day 3, the pattern's stronger. Or I'm doing alternate days. Doesn't matter, but I'm doing it with consistency. The pattern is growing stronger and stronger. At the same time, this positive pattern could be a negative pattern. I wake up in the morning, I smoke a cigarette, and I have a cup of chai. Okay, it also becomes a pattern, but not a pattern that can serve us, right? So you see the difference. That pattern will also get strong if I keep doing it. Now that the mind and body is connected, you create an experience. You have a morning experience. Luke wakes up, brushes his teeth, gets on the mat, and does 20 minutes of yoga. This becomes an experience. With an experience, there is a chemical produced in the body, which we can call an emotion. So when I finish my experience of yoga, I now have an emotion of calmness or success because I did it. So you see, all this is happening in the mind. Now I have this emotion which serves me. And because it's a good emotion, I want to do it more and more. And the more and more I do it, the pattern becomes stronger and stronger. Now the outcome of the pattern will align with my intention. I start to feel good, get more flexible, start to feel calmer. Now take this and apply it with anywhere that you're stuck in life. Whether it's certain things in your relationship. You have a cancer. You're trying to lose weight. You want to lose weight. The intention is right, but your behavior is not aligning with it. You're still eating junk food. You're overeating. You're doing all the wrong things, but you want the intention to materialize. There is no mind-body connection, and that's why it becomes a struggle. Anything that's a struggle is unnatural. How do we make it natural? By connecting the mind and the body. Now I have a challenge, but I also have a pattern that is serving me. So you see, it is so important for us to understand the fundamentals of the human mind. So to strengthen these patterns, the good patterns, I need concentration and I need repetition. Or let me put a different word. I need attention and I need repetition. Or I need attention and focus and I need practice, which means I do the same thing over and over again. If words of acknowledgement or words of love makes a partner feel better, you know it's working. You want your relationship to get better. So you have to get good at saying it over and over again, of course, from the heart. Now that will strengthen a new pattern and it'll give you a result and a behavior that's working for you. But in your relationship, if you're constantly angry and you know the things that make your partner angry, but you're going on and on doing it again, your pattern is growing stronger and your behavior is aligning with your pattern. And you have the result of an experience, but not the best emotion. This emotion would be negativity. So today, the simple exercise for you to do is, where are you stuck with your health, disease, life? Okay? Break it down. Intentions, behavior, align the two. Actions, thoughts, align the two. When you start to do it, the mind and body connects. Now you will build a pattern with a residual emotion. That emotion is responsible for you doing it over and over again. So if there's something you want to build, concentration and repetition, focus and repetition, attention and repetition. On the right things, the right pattern. The wrong things, the wrong pattern. So if you feed your mind that, hey, I'll work out 5 days a week, but in the weekends I'll binge drink, that's become your pattern. You're not getting results. You find other things to blame, but it's actually your pattern that's making you behave that way. So it is extremely important to understand, especially in a world today where there is so much of complexity, so much of crap out there. The fundamentals first have to work for you. Now today, you are in control, literally in control of how you want to strengthen a pattern or weaken it. You can't get rid of a pattern, but you can build over it by doing something new and something different with repetition, practice, and focus. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, breathe deep, and remember, you care is all about you.